This conference will now be recorded.
It's not using my normal stuff. No, I know that's not. Try. Touch the roll thing again. Oh, only one of you. Are those ones good?
No, got no water.
Turn out. Red's not a good thing. Red's not working. Of course, I have nobody on here, so I can't really fully test it.
This conference will now be recorded.
So I'm testing it and it can say something down.
Hello there.
It seems to be picking you up, so I think we'll be okay. It's just not gonna be great.
Yeah, I'll call to order the regular May 18th, 2026 council meeting order at 6:33.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any additions or corrections to the agenda?
I have a removal and an addition. First is the removal of the Citizen of the Month. It'll be next month.
Okay.
And then adding the letter to the county regarding the sheriff's support. And that'll be under unfinished business, item number 2, or letter B.
And then I wanted to add this short discussion about the lake campground match under city administrator.
Okay.
So what was the addition on unfinished business again, Stephanie?
Letter to the county regarding sheriff's
okay.
support.
Right. Okay. Any other additions or corrections? Anyone like to make a motion to accept those changes? So moved. Is there a second? No. Second by Council Webb. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. 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 Motion carried. Moving right on to presentations. Sierra's not here yet.
So unfortunately, or fortunately, Sarah is unable to attend due to potentially having a baby. But I don't know if Josette wants to present it or not.
I can. So she was coming, so we know that Columbia Economic Team disbanded. And part of that program was the Keep It Local program and the small business work where they're hosting classes in the different cities. That element of the program remains. The city of Scappoose took it over for a countywide Keep It Local program and the Small Business Alliance classes. And so Sierra was coming to talk to us about contributing to it. We left the amount that we had contributed in the budget to the small business, so that was already in the admin $2,000 to help propagate and host classes here for small businesses and to keep it local program going. Most of the cities are doing their same contribution for that portion of the program. That is not the bigger portion that we used to give to the economic development. It was just for that share. So they left it in the budget because it did benefit. They did host a number of classes here. Local business owners came and learned different skills. And so she was just coming to relay that. They're still going. They're still doing the same programming with the small businesses in the county. They're still having that same footprint. City of Scappoose is taking the lion's share of the employment costs because the 2,000 from each city doesn't cover what those employees cost, but the city of Scappoose thought it was important enough that they hired them on as employees to run this and other things. So that was what she was coming to talk to you about, but she called us today saying she had early contractions and would not be able to make it. So,
Okay, thank you, Joe. So any council or committee meeting reports? Moving on. Any topic from the floor?
I have one.
Okay.
Vicky Peters.
Hello, I'm Peter, I'm the president of the Vernonia Lions Club, and I wanted to kind of talk about the lifeguard and the possibility. I know you all are discussing this deciding on the priority of the city this year. As a club, we have the tower for a lifeguard to sit in, we've done maintenance on the pool, and we have a collective interest in just having kids be safe and be good swimmers and have that opportunity. So what I'd really like to ask for the city is guidance on what the parameters are if we get the charities to come together and provide whatever it takes to support that. I understand that it needs to be, if we have a lifeguard, all it has to be all day, for example, it has to be a supervisor. There's some things that we have information on. We appreciate a full guideline on what the expectations and requirements are when we go off and assess. So I can come to the next meeting maybe and see if we've got feedback on that.
Thank you, Vic.
All right, thanks.
Consent agenda for a second. We do have a consent agenda for approval of city council meeting minutes for April 27th, 2026. Any questions or discussion on the meeting? I'd like to make a motion to accept that.
I'll move to accept the consent agenda.
Second,
I'll second.
second by Council Weller. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried. Moving right in the unfinished business, staff report, please keep contact.
Okay, so you guys had directed me to sign the contract and then our final review of making the amendments that were agreed upon at the council meeting, which you see are in there. One thing came to light in section 5, compensation. So in the first two sentences of the paragraph, it relays that the police chief should get those benefits in the same time as other city employees. The last sentence references the CBA, which the police chief is not referenced in the CBA, so we needed to correct that. When I asked her if we just corrected, he said, with all the back and forth, he felt more comfortable if I took it back to council for that correction to be made. So you'll see it there that it relates it to the merit increase equal to what is provided to other city employees during the duration of this contract. It takes it out of the CBA, relating it to association
generic question, not Gavin. Would she would be receiving equal, would be equally qualified to receive a merit increase. But it says that will get the merit increase equal to what is provided to others in the place. So, well, so let's say city administrator for some reason got 7% for whatever reason, or whatever number. Does this law get into the chief getting the exact same merit?
The merit increases are 0 to the highest percentage that's in the city budget at any given time.
Right, so when it just says, the way this reads, the chief would automatically get whatever other.
Right. But we don't know what each employee is getting because it's based on merit. So it's 0% for this year, I believe it's 5%.
So, but this to me says that if there's two people that are getting it, both get the same merit increase, whether it's awarded or not. And that second person.
I don't get what you're saying.
So
What
let's say
second person?
let's say the chief got 5% and council decided that the city administrator would only get 3%. Does that make the chief only get 3%?
Because it's not a per person thing, it's in the budget.
But it says, and merit.
So they'll get an
increases
annual evaluation and merit increases to what is provided to other city employees during the duration of this contract. So where does it say what?
It says the employee shall be entitled to an annual evaluation and merit increases equal to what is provided to other city employees.
Right. So that's up to 5%.
It's just a wordsmithing that.
So you would want it to say what?
Base, that is based on merit, not that, because it locks. So we only have 2 employees who get this, correct?
No,
Oh.
every employee in the city,
Okay,
the percentage is the same for every employee in the city.
so it's not based on individual
It
merit.
is, your boss can say you only earned 3% and 5% is what they could have given you. Each department head gets to determine from 0 to 5% what their under employees get for merit increase.
Right, and that's why the language there to me is unequivocal that it is the same as, not.
So what would you have it say? I mean, we can make whatever change, but do you get what I'm saying? Like, in the budget, merit increases up to a certain percentage for everybody. There has been times where in the department, not every employee got that same merit increase based on absences or whatever, right? So what do you,
I just want to make,
so instead of equal, would you in line with what is available or?
no,
What do you-
based on their evaluation.
Okay, so tell me what, I don't know what you're wanting to change it to. This is council's contract, so you guys can change it to whatever you want. Just tell me what you want it to say. Merit increases based on evaluation.
Yeah.
Are you saying you want to take the word equal out? Is that what you're saying?
And merit increases based on evaluation. Obviously, whatever, how? I didn't think that far. That's what I should say, just.
And what is available,
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
like, okay, so. Merit increases
Or-
based on evaluation.
Through the process provided to other city employees. Doesn't have to say equal to, it just said increases based on the process provided to all city employees. I think that's.
Okay, so how about the employee shall be entitled to annual evaluations and merit increases based on the evaluation process as provided to other city employees during the duration of the contract.
And merit increases based on the evaluation process.
As provided to other cities.
Thank you.
With that,
So then, will someone approve this? We make a motion to approve this contract with the correction. Follow up on
Unless there's a.
any other discussion?
Not on that part, but I'm still a little concerned about the 3-month severance. And that we do that. The employee as time goes on.
So my old mayor hat would say, only someone that voted in the majority of that could reconsider it at this time, right?
Second by Council Webb, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. One opposed, 4 in favor, motion carries. Okay. The letter.
They took a stab at a very broad, non-emergency program. If it's full size, it's not covered. I just, there's a couple of spots there where we need some assistance with numbers that we can look at this with your energy. Does that work? And she, or, yeah. One word on the front, in that last paragraph. I don't want to get snarky. I don't want to be, I'm trying to be professional. And ostensibly is a trigger word, but I also feel like we've been paying for something and we should be getting it. And then on the back, I wasn't sure, second to last paragraph, it is much more fiscally responsible for the citizens to be supported through law enforcement they are already paying for through the special district. Just want to make sure you all support that. And I don't think Sergeant Vernonia has had a chance to thoroughly look at this yet. I just want, this was the first draft, but we also want to do it soon. Granted, the election is now, so we will not, there's no teeth to approach one of the commissioners about this, but I still think that with everything going on in the county and the world, it's important to move forward with this.
So I have another question. In a weird way, they are the budgetary people, but the sheriff is elected and his own boss, so to speak. And he didn't get any challenges, so he is the sheriff for another term. Should we also have council be drafting one at the end that simultaneously goes out, so it's not like we're going to the budgetary people and not him? I'm just thinking that for something, some similar timing.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know if this just goes to them and him at the same time.
Okay,
I don't see why you would not just add him onto this,
okay.
because then he's aware that they've gone to the county commissioners and they're aware that this is also, so rather than just CCing him on this one and CCing him on another one, you just roll it on.
I actually think that's a great idea, because that approach Brian first. Actually, with this letter.
Or
Or at the same time.
at the same time.
Well, they're,
He's usually there at the meetings.
yeah, they're doing their budget, I think they said June 10th is their hearing, so if you got it, and then they can both see it as like, hey, this is something. maybe- I don't know that it affects his budget other than he shifts where patrol is a big thing, right? But, yeah. I think simultaneously it's good because then he knows they've seen it, they know he's seen it, and they'll be like, oh, I didn't see that, you know?
I think you could actually leave out the verb there. Leave out the steps. Yeah. At that, and it would be, we get the point across.
I agree, that's why I highlighted.
If you like the letter, I like the simplicity of it.
I'll make a suggestion. Since the levy is never considered a special district, but it's considered a control levy, maybe think about taking out that special district part of district control levy.
And maybe the year. Well,
Yeah, the 2023 control levy. I think,
Yeah. because then it relates exactly to the tax that's being used, right, maybe? And I don't think it mentions it.
Recall how many years you have to do.
Yeah, it goes through this. Well, that's what it says it's going to. But I don't have the original information as to how long the levy, that it was going to be a 3-year levy.
Susan, Susan,
It's going to
Possibly 4. Yeah, I think it's a 4-year levy.
Oh, yeah, it is. It says right there, sorry. You know, put it on. It says 4 years, but they only provided the information.
I'm not sure, I mean, we all understand the issue, I'm not sure we're really being asked. And I think a lot of it goes just simply out for doing our departments, cover that gap. Because if I'm not mistaken, in our gap period, if they just take our calls, that's all there is.
Maybe not even more.
Exactly, they don't even have to be on this side of the hill. They just take that call. Simply have a few people.
So in other words, what you're saying is specify a time.
Well, just specify coordinating coverage of our department, and, yeah. And it would just require them responding to the priority call. I mean, it's a very simple ask we're asking for. And then maybe somebody could have seen the light, it's like, oh yeah, we got people on, why can't we do that? They're calling their officers out, they gotta come just as far as our officers' cars, just come.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, it does end this year because it's like 25 to 26. Is what this 11 says. But it would be from 26 to 27, this is 23 to 24, so it still covers this.
Or you know, we come back.
Oh, I'm sure. Okay, I'm happy to, make those modifications. I'll add the sentence in, I will send it back out, June first. So that would give us time to, finalize this and then eventually we go Wednesday. And we talk, so that gives it consent. Tuesday mornings, telling them we'll bring these to the commissioners as topics on the floor. On these.
I think I could read that in 3 minutes.
Well, okay. I don't know that we want to read the letter. If we provide it to them at a time, and we talk about it, we can talk about how we want to read, just like how that's the most thing. Most people, that's all we want to do is read.
Yeah, I haven't been to one of, do they do much discussion or no?
Well, it's interesting, I don't know what they're doing now, because they're building.
They have a 3-minute audience participation, just like we have.
But
So,
yeah, they have room in their meeting room.
Oh, yeah.
It's really small.
about the size. There's not room.
In the John Gunn?
Yeah. What I need.
I haven't been there since they.
Yeah.
I didn't even see.
So you'll bring it back to the new first.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Susan. Good job.
I think showing up in person will help, but more punch the letter. It's kind of like when people bring stuff to us and they don't show up, it's like, you must not feel very strong about it, you're not here supporting it person.
Okay, any new business? We have business from the departments. Ordinances and resolutions. Correspondence. One got their email on the June 18th, city county dinner at the Senior Center.
I will not be.
Okay, city administrator report.
So it looks like from the huge gap we have in match, that we weren't able to apply for the $762,000 section of phase 1 by the June 5th. So I'm kind of just coming back to you guys on what do I do? We can't really make up the 120,000 with what they let you charge for volunteer hours in the timing we have it, so. We pass this round. One thing I was thinking, which I know everyone wants this to get moving, but one thing I was thinking is do we look into maybe crushing our rock and having that as an asset that can contribute funds by selling it and then contribute value in a match by providing it to ourselves as value, like, there's all these things rolling through my head as options, but it's gonna be not a hill we can climb for the $120,000 match. We have about 30 in man hours of material, or sorry, 150 was the 20% match. We have about 30 in man hours of materials. And that's fully loaded, and then you still have 120. And that's 20 more hours, and then you need some other thing to contribute other than volunteer.
So your 30, is that city crew? We have to pay them out of the SPC.
Yeah, you have to pull that money in.
And then we're talking about all the earth, but then I can't remember what the people was. All that. But we were thinking that was gonna be volunteer.
Yeah, but it's what they allow you to charge for volunteer times the number of hours. It would be like people working full years before you, does that make sense, before it equates to $120,000. I'd have to go over the thing.
It should be commensurate with whatever the going.
It's not the contractor rate though, because volunteers are not doing it as a contractor. So it's not the $55 an hour, whether, I don't know, what a bulldozer person makes, that's more or less. So they're not allowing for the skill rates. Not when you claim it's a volunteer, because that's, well, that's what I saw in the grant application, is that, because you'd actually have to be that, right? If you're not that, what I understand it to be is if you're not that as a regular thing, you can't claim you are that. That's how I read it. So that's where I can't make it match, and I don't wanna risk it if they don't see it as that, and then they get their grant and they don't. So that's where I'm at, if you guys have another option, or do we, I mean, one option that staff and kind of talked about is, do we just start chunking, we know this is a huge project, we know the match is huge. So we either go for another grant simultaneously, back match, and go for the full picture at one shot, or we start chunking money away into a reserve specifically for the match, that then does it. There's just all the variables, and I'm nervous to try and, I've turned in all of the paperwork stuff, it's just a harder thing to make it all meet numbers wise.
So the city does not have to does not have to collect the match or identify all of the match ahead of time, you just.
No, you do have to. You have to know that it's gonna be, so many hours of these different things, and when I was trying to make it work, it didn't get close to 120.
So that's by June 5th.
Yeah. I have all the other parts, I turned all of our requests into the agencies and all the stuff. But when it comes down to selling it and being able to be legitimately selling it, I can't make it work.
Was that June 5th, this year date, the only time we could apply for a grant this year?
Yeah, it's once a year.
Because we had another priority workshop, we discussed.
Well, the tricky thing is that we still don't have the match. The match either needs to be cash, or it needs to be materials, or it needs to be huge donations from companies that are willing to give you 3 years worth of 90 grand or something. But in this short time period of what we're trying to do, we don't have the match.
I guess I'm gonna have to understand what they're gonna allow.
Well, if it's like somebody that has a bulldozer company, right? Then that person can be at their rate, it's equal to like a bowling rate. If I'm not saying, if it's retired people that never were a bulldozer guy, then it's a different rate and it's a lot lower. So that's why I can't make it match. It's not like we're having whole real crews that would count that money quickly. It's a collective of others that some of them are at the minimum rate because they're not in the industry where we couldn't prove that they're in the crew or, right? So it's a huge number to hit. All value wise. So I don't know, I mean, part of me thinks we come up with a bigger, more robust plan for how we just do it. And, one option is we still do pull the 30, we still put in the infrastructure and the spigots and stuff, and we start using it as a primitive, and every dollar goes to that match, you know, or something. I mean, there's that option too, that we do the work, we get it rocked in with the rock we have, and then we start having people camping there and collecting that revenue for that.
Do we have any more information on the crushing?
No, we talked about, I mean, it's a huge amount, and the last time I ever talked to somebody about it was like a $30,000 hit, and they were gonna be there for like 8 months to a year. Because it's field, I don't know if you've ever looked at them on GIS, but it's all the concrete that was pulled out of the wetlands from the mill. So they're 20 foot wide by 18 feet tall monoliths that are just stacked. There's just a whole field of concrete. So it would be a value. I mean, you got a value out of the surcharge when we did crushing the last time. And you know, rock's just getting more expensive. So it is a product the city could sell and use that as match if they sold there. There's all those options. It's just sitting there. So it's an asset.
So if we were to do that additional infrastructure, are you thinking of still doing that with this grant? Or
No, that would come out of it wouldn't be matched because you have to keep it in the year, right?
right, and that's,
So that would be cash outlay that we would just do to start a revenue stream. So. I know it's not what we want to do, but I don't see a way for us to do what we want to do with what we got.
so. Is it better to? Is it better to apply for the grant and realize partly through that you might not be able to. You do your best presentation of what the match, you believe you're gonna have, right? We're gonna put up the pressure and we're gonna make money on it, etc. Is there any way to do that?
Well, you could. I'm mapping it.
I totally.
So I mean, one option is you could ask for 150,000. Your 30,000 is your 20% match. And we just do what we can, right? Yeah, $150,000 grant,
Yeah.
20% is 30,000. We take the 30,000 out of SDCs and we just do what we can with the 150,000. That's like the only way I can see it working is like, and then maybe what that gives us is the surveying to line it out, paying someone to cut it in, right? Paying someone to do the rock, the infrastructure, and we're in front of the state. But is that what you guys, that's why I'm bringing it to you, because I don't know if that's what you want, or you want to wait and get a more robust plan together, or I don't know how viable of a grant request it is, because it's not gonna need as many as it would have with the more formal, bigger ask, with having ADA, you know, having different things, so. It's kind of right.
So, yeah, I think when we did that, we were just thinking about, we said, oh, we can come up with 150,000 max. And so this equates 700, whatever. We just need to go back in, I mean, we have 70 in SDC for park.
Yeah.
We need to have a further discussion, flesh out the volunteer thing. Norman and myself, we talked about, well, if they see staff out for SDC, to glue pipe together, all we need is one person to supervise our work. There's volunteers that can do that work.
Supervise what work?
Putting the water line.
But since it's public infrastructure, it has to be either public works or contractor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't hook to, it's not like a, well, a
It's
home
not like
needs
a
a,
home, yeah.
well, a home needs a
Not like our
plumber.
main line.
A home needs a license plumber too, right? So
Okay, well,
Even if Jeff was there supervised?
I'm pretty sure that because it is the public infrastructure.
but that's 10 grand of the 30.
What's that?
Somebody said that the supply, Andy said that he thinks about.
It's like
the
15
supply
or
was
15.
20 grand or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, we just need to scale our top number back. And then there are plans to see what that is. We just need to get within our to be comfortable, we need to stay within the 70 grand. Have an SDC. Calculate what that is.
So you want to use the full SDCs for it? That seems crazy. Because,
What else do you need?
what do you mean?
I see these SDCs accounts, we always put them in, they end up getting burned up in plants. I don't want to see them going into that thing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I think, yeah, okay. I'm thinking 30 seems totally doable. You're still leaving the majority of the fund there, so that, say you go for phase 2 and you need cash, you have 40 left to go into it. Because the next phase is just gonna be just as expensive, and we won't have any money if we wipe it all out in the first phase with 70. Does that make sense?
But I think the plan, was in my head, was we were gonna get developed enough, like you're saying, to be friendly camping, well, we have the water and sewer there.
Yeah.
We don't have the light.
We have the pond.
Well, we don't. Yeah, but then that generates that revenue stream that we then, over time, that would be our share, we'd be building that share up.
Yeah.
We just need to look at the plan and see the dollar amount that it's gonna take to get us operational in the state. And if we have to use our SDC to get us there, that gets us there. You know, you see what I'm saying? It gets us to the point we can start generating revenue. If we say we put 30 in, we've only got 150,000, and it doesn't get us to where we need to be to open it up and generate revenue, well, then we're just sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
So we need to get to the, yeah, we just, we're maximizing. We said, oh, we can do $150,000 in time.
Yeah.
That equates to 752 or whatever it was. And, we were getting as much as we could, we just trying to scale it back. But it might
So
still
that's
get
in
it.
real time here, people.
Yeah.
I got
know.
like 3 weeks to scale it back, and what is that? I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I got the
You're
plan.
you're expecting a narrative to be compelling to them when it's like this piecemeal version, and I don't know that that's gonna be very compelling. So we're gonna do all this work to try and get it to them, and then most likely not get the points for the compelling factor. I mean, you have to hit the score in a lot of things, otherwise you're just kind of, right, they're not gonna do it. So that's what's concerning me about having 3 weeks, to, like a full-on switch up and make it compelling. and hit their marks. Does that make sense? Like, because I think short of it is not gonna be as compelling as the 762 was with these other elements that I had tied to it that met their score. The state recreation, all of them.
I'm definitely in favor of getting the ball rolling this year. And I do like your $150,000. $30,000 match, just to get started. At least we could begin the process, start to break ground on it.
Yeah. I just need direction from you guys on where we're going. What am I doing?
Well, if we do get some of it done with 150, that might balance up to get the rest of it.
That's what I'm understanding.
Well, it's not that it falls, I'm concerned we go to the work of trying to figure out how to make, what we're gonna do with 150, right? Because I'm gonna have to sit down and I can't just go decide myself. And then it's not gonna be compelling. Like, it's not gonna, a lot of the grants that we've done in the past that were really compelling, met the score, but still didn't get funded. They've got less money this year, you know, because they keep whittling down what they have to give out. And so I'm just concerned about trying to sell something that doesn't meet their marks. It's gonna be harder to sell where, when you're, it's just harder to sell. I don't know how to explain it other than meeting all their requirements and like saying, I hit this point, we hit this point, we hit this point, you're proving it to them why we match with what they want to fund or they're saying they want to fund. And then we're gonna be like, basically we're earthwork, some pipe in the ground, primitive, no electricity, like it's harder to sell. So, yeah, I just.
No, you can.
I was thinking we got some of that done, it would show that we are physically working, committed to making this go, and that would help getting the grant finished.
Yeah. And the option is too, we can, you know, yeah. Part of me is like, you could put the stuff in the ground, just spend the 30, and then use that as a token to say, the city, you know, effectively put this stuff in ahead of time in working towards this, with the next ask, when you're asking for more. You still have the 40 SECs that could be cash, you could go for, you'd have time, you'd have to go for a top off grant that also contributes cash, like, it's just a short window to try and. I think the methodical part of me would want to wait till next year for the full act and try and get as much as we could, go for the million and have another grant that backfills that million with, right? And, or go for the 1.3, or try to get the yours donated with an advertisement on them with where your company. Like, try and get some of those other things as match. But that's gonna take time. And like, this is our plan, we're gonna try and get your company to donate it so that they can sell more yours or something. No, I mean, everybody loves advertising, if you stay in it, you like it, in school, and maybe some other place sells it, I don't know.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, just that your advice would be to wait till next year.
It would be for the grant. I think we could work into this season, you know, using SDC funds to go in there, grade it. Get the lines laid out, get the lines in. They don't have to be energized to be in there, and then you're ready to go. Or maybe put one or two of the spigots, so it's real primitive, but it has water, has a bathroom down the way, right? some version of that seems more doable and more successful than trying to cut back our plans to some little piece that we can afford and it's not really compelling and it's, yeah, but that's just me. If you guys feel differently than that, then I can try and do whatever you're trying to do.
Don't want to talk about that. Don't. Push, get clear to do, but we can't, that's our skin in the game, is that work that we're talking about. And if we do that, we put in for the grant, we don't get it, we lose. Because what we know, you 2 years ahead.
Yeah,
So I really, to me,
but that's
that's
what,
a gamble, don't do that until we get the grant in hand, and we can go to work.
but that's what I'm saying with like, in my brain, you go for a simultaneous grant from like ODF or fisherman camping, or you go get other cash from a different source, and then you're not worried about that being our skin in the game. You're not relying on volunteers in the community so much as you're being, like, using other leverage, if that makes sense, whether it's a donation of yours or a donation from the electric company to pull the lines or something that benefits everyone, they're gonna make more money, maybe we could get them to pull the lines through the stanchions as some sort of, you know, gift or something like they did with skate park or what, I don't know. And I think it's more compelling the more players you have in it too. They like to see that you got this from this agency and you're out asking, you're not just asking them. So I don't know, it's a weird dynamic, I mean, because I just, we can ask for it, I don't know that we will get it. And then, yeah. Then we've done this work and not gotten anything and still want to not done the work to figure out like what could we do this year.
So timing wise, their decision is going to be ostensibly in this area, July.
Yeah. And I think last time they put it out, we found out like around end of July, August, like January. So that,
That's actually way too far out in a way.
if we were gonna like do the work ourselves and plan for that, yeah, because you want to be doing it in July to September, the work, but if you were doing the dry work, right?
Could you still, and I know scaling back a grant is not fun, you know, how crazy it's going to be. If you submitted it anyway,
For what?
the what that we figure out, or you figure out, whoever figures out is going to be the house. And then you start on the work anyway. Does that still count towards the grant? If it wasn't working?
No, because you have to wait till the contract's signed, and that's the messed up part is, most of the time, the contract signature comes 60 days after the award date, which means then you're in the next summer cycle for building. So that's the messed up part. And they don't really let you count stuff you do before that signature.
Right.
Well, it seems like we have a general consensus to just hold on. Oh.
I,
Well, I mean, we could, if the majority wants to hold off, we could still schedule a special meeting, come to the thing and come up with what we're gonna do this year. If, you know, with the monies we have, with the planning, whether we look at the crushing and start to make that a project that then benefits this, because potentially then you would have the money coming in on a regular through sales, then the in-kind is not a problem for you if you kind of earmark, we're gonna do this project to benefit this project, so. But I'm not. That's right. Cluster.
What do you wish to do, Dale?
Well, this is just me, but yeah, well, I think we should review, take another look at it, see
see how it pencils. What we can get done with what money we have, if it's 30 and we go for 150, or we go for 50 and get 200. whatever.
Okay, so when's this, if you guys decide, you'd have to schedule a special meeting, like within the next few weeks. And then
Next week.
right,
We,
yeah,
get it
because,
done.
well, it doesn't really give me much time, but.
No, next week's. the short week.
Yeah, and I'm out Monday and Tuesday next week. Well, everyone's out Monday.
Monday, Tuesday, me. Twenty-seven.
That's the only day I can do.
What do you guys say?
Wednesday?
Somebody else said, yeah.
What day is that?
Wednesday?
Wednesday?
Next week. Friday.
And then, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Is there anything any of us can do to assist? One, if we were to meet on the 27th, is there anything any one of us could assist you with after that?
Well, I could use help on the selling it, like from you, coming and helping me do the narrative itself. The tricky part is, and I put phase one in all of the asks of the agencies, I mean, if we're downscaling that, I don't think that's untrue. If they didn't see issues with phase one, it's just, that's one of the differences that when I went to Division of State Land, you know, all the information you have to give them, they got the full plan in phase one info. Yeah, I don't.
It's not impossible to say.
No,
It's,
it isn't.
and they might welcome a small little project.
They might. Yeah, that's true.
With the, and the sale of it is that this the responsible thing to do is, this is all we have right now, because we were not able to, it was short notice.
Yeah, it was to be determined until the end of March, and then it was June, but that's really not very much time. We're all kind of waiting to see, are they gonna fund, how much money do they even have to get out?
And to try to arrange charters and donations, all that, I'm not sure if this is, not there. So I think that we could sell it, the city could sell it as, this truly is the first step. And will get us to a point where the city will be able to start bringing in some money.
Okay, so what time on the Wednesday, the 27th, are we?
That works. Okay.
And I am,
Okay, anything else from
Nope, that was it.
items from the mayor and council? Anybody have anything? Oh, yeah. So I've talked to Joe Dead about this. I think you all kind of know my feelings. I'd like to do a formal dedication of the temple. In the future here, probably towards fall. Council.
Have a resolution I can use.
Keep us posted. Yeah. Okay, anybody else? All right, action items.
So I have that Council Wagner's gonna bring back the draft letter to the sheriff for approval, and then follow up at the future commission meeting that week. And then Wednesday, the 27th, we have a special meeting about the Lake Campground grant at 6 p.m. Anything else?
good. Okay, thank you all for attending tonight. I'll turn this meeting at 7:31.